Good morning, everybody. The June 21st, 2017 special meeting of the City Council called to order. I'm going to do this to make sure it's official. Good morning. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 under closed caption for hearing impaired viewers. Please note customers of CenturyLink and Cox Communication may view this program in high definition on Channel 1002. The council meeting as well as all other KCLV programming may be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.forward/live. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web. The Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also Friday 4 a.m., Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday 5 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler systems. If the alarm should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the rear of the chambers, go out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, and down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please be sure to check with a marshal or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to the items on the agenda, citizen participation, and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to the city clerk up front. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone is present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please see our city clerk staff. And if you parked across the street in the garage, be sure to have your ticket validated by security when exiting. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed.
Pardon me? Oh, for the regular meeting? Okay.
No, don't we have public comment here too?
Do you have public comment at this meeting?
Yes. Don't we as well?
Just for items on this agenda?
Okay. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda on those agenda items, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. This is your opportunity to address the council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. We'll set the timer at 1 minute, please. As the rush to the microphone.
Your Honor, seeing none, I would
say that we move on.
make a recommendation. Yes. We move on, and I'd like to make a special request that we move agenda item 4 behind agenda item 7, with your permission.
Do we need a vote on that? Nope. We are going to move agenda item 4 behind agenda item. Did you say 7? Okay, fine. And so agenda item 5, closed session. Upon a duly carried motion, a closed meeting is called in accordance with NRS 241.030 to discuss the following items. A, the city attorney's annual performance review, and B, the city auditor's annual performance review. Is there a motion to recess to closed session, please?
I would make a motion to recess for closed session, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please vote. And thank you very much. Please post. Was that Councilman Barlow? Well, how nice. Are you coming in later? On the freeway coming this way? Okay, thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you shortly. Thank you. So can we transfer his call into closed session?
Yes, Councilman Barlow, we're going to call you back. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll recess at this point. Why doesn't this turn off, please? You who help me with everything. Good morning, everyone. We have been in recess and have already been in closed session, so that's why I am not reopening the meeting. And we are on agenda item 6. Okay. And who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, Councilwoman. Okay, Councilwoman Tarkanian is here. She's just in back. So, Mayor Pro Tem, if you would.
Thank you, Your Honor. Agenda item 6 is discussion for possible action regarding the annual review of City Attorney Bradford Jervik. I would make a motion, Your Honor, at this time.
Excuse me. We're making a motion on Brad Jervik at this time.
I would make a motion, Your Honor, to for Brad Jervik to keep his annual compensation the same with a $20,000 bonus for the amazing work that he's done and completed in this last year. That's my motion.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask today for a second on that, please. Thank you. There's a second and a third. And anyway, that obviously is great work that's been done. So there's a motion, please, on Brad Jervik, and that's agenda item 6. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. Brad Jervik, thank you for everything you've done.
Let me just say,
obviously.
first of all, thank to my staff. They are the ones that make me look good. It's not me. And so they deserve all the credit. I seriously mean that. And thank you for being patient with me. I'm a little different, but you've been great to work with. Thank you.
No, you have a great department, and we have watched you really hire the best, keep the best, train the best, and everybody's on the same page. And this city is so much the beneficiary, but it's led by someone that's great. So thank you very much.
And Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanted to add, sometimes the public doesn't realize all that happens, how many times a city or government agency gets sued and all the complications, and that's why we're saying what a tremendous job he did this year.
So again, thank you. And all right, let's move on to agenda item 7, please. And that's discussion for possible action regarding annual review of City Auditor Radford K. Snelding. And this is an auditor who's responsible to the council and mayor directly, which is different. And we in the city of Las Vegas is probably one of the very few cities in this country that have an auditor that specifically works for the council. So,
Your Honor, with that on agenda item 7, I would make a motion on Radford Snelding to top him out at the annual compensation for the city auditor. I would also direct staff to evaluate that and bring that back to this mayor and council in a future date. Along with that motion, I would also motion to give Radford Snelding a $15,000 annual bonus.
thank you very much. Can we have a second on that, please? Second. Thank you. And a third we have. So there's a motion. Would you all please vote? And please post. Yes, in fact, that's unanimous also. Thank you. And Rad, where is he? Please let everybody see who you are. He's absolutely wonderful. He and his team. And I know how appreciative he is of the people with whom he works. What a great job going out, saving money for this city. I mean, it's been untold thousands of dollars because of the great work that they do. Not to do anything that's, in fact, what could you just say what you do? I think it would be informative for the city to, and not going till tomorrow, but the essence of what your independent audit is. Thank you. You have to push. We are not.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, you're on.
Am I speaking now?
Yes,
Good.
but you have to push it up higher because you're so tall. Perfect.
There we go. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. We have a lot smaller operation, a lot smaller staff, and so we have to be smart how we work in order to cover all that we do. But what we do is that we do performance audits. We're looking for economy and efficiency in departments and divisions and different operations within the city. That's one of the things we do. We also do a few IT audits. We do some fraud investigations, and we do also a lot of follow-up on the recommendations that we make. And we've been successful this year, and this has been a good year as far as the number of audits that we've done and the number of recommendations that we've cleared. And I'd like to thank my staff who, as you say, they are good people, and there's not many of us, so we have a lot of ground to cover. But thanks once again to the council. I appreciate this very much.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, and could you just articulate that you make recommendations after you have your findings, which you report to me and to council? Then the process is, of course, you meet with the city manager and go over the findings, and then what do you do with the findings?
That's correct. And additionally, all of the audit reports that we have are all public record, and they can be found on the city's website under the city auditor, and we've got a number of reports out there, and they are available to all the people to look at. That's one of the really good things about the way we do this. They are public record.
Thank you.
And,
Thank-
and,
yes,
and there
please.
again, I just wanted to add, I've been here so long now, I just want to add a couple of things, and that is, you work for the council, and I don't know if most of the public knows that this is a rarity in government, that you have, and I believe it came under your husband's tenure, that you have the independence to be able to come to us and give us information even though everybody else might not like it. And that's very important. You're under nobody else but us, so you have the freedom to be extremely honest and transparent, which you've done.
Thank
In
you.
your honor.
Yes, please, and Councilman Coffin.
Please,
after
Well, Your
that.
Honor, thank you very much. If I could follow up on what Councilwoman Tarkanian said. I'm not happy with the pay range for our city auditor. That, in fact, he is about $1,000 from being capped out on the pay range. So I hope we have, or this council should order that an agenda item be placed on a very near future meeting to change that pay scale. We're always looking for somebody, frankly, to replace our top people. That's the goal, is they should be training, but the pay has got to be commensurate with what we think a search would yield. And rather than be embarrassed with that, I'd rather, let's have a meeting or an agenda item on a future meeting, if I could so ask. And I don't know, city manager is nodding her head. It will be placed on an agenda for a very close meeting, soon, open meeting close to this one. Fair
Thank you
enough.
very much. Thank you, Councilman. And Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank council members. I appreciate it. I think it's only appropriate, since we've got this great audience, and I see a lot of staff members in the audience as well, to give both Bradford and Brad Jerbeck a round of applause for the great accomplishments they've done for the city of Las Vegas.
Thank you. We're most grateful. And now we're moving back to agenda item number 4, discussion for possible action regarding the annual review of our city manager, Betsy, and Fretwell, Elizabeth. And I know she has some remarks, too, that she'd like to make. But I, for one, I have to tell you, and I have to do it by standing. You are a sensation, lady. And I've known you for so many years here, but what you have done by taking us through the recession, keeping us on an even keel, I know everybody has praised you and talked about the many shoes, hats, outfits that you wear as far as dealing with people, dealing with different parts of our community, our government, the entire state, lobbying, and we are just so grateful. And unfortunately for everybody who may not know this, she's decided. We didn't say we're firing you, although when I heard about it after she said, I'm leaving, I'm going into the private sector, I thought, too bad I didn't preempt her and tell her you're fired. But the reality is, this is one great lady who has done so much on an even keel. There isn't a city in this country that wouldn't have wanted her to lead us. And so, Betsy, on behalf of everybody, all wards, all people that live and work here and call this home and are proud of Las Vegas, thank you for everything that you have done. And I
Thank you.
applaud
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe I don't need to give this report. I don't know. This is a bit of a 1-2 punch for me today. I get to talk a little bit about this last year specifically, And then hopefully you'll give me a little latitude under ceremonial to talk a little bit more about my tenure at the city and some of the overall accomplishments. So I'm going to keep my comments fairly narrow right now. As I have mentioned to you all, that we have had a really good run over the last several years, and a lot of things came to fruition this year. One that I really want to make sure that I mention to you is the fact that we're 100% solar now. We flipped the switch on the Boulder plant in January, 100% solar. We are making sure that we're communicating with our citizens, and I just want to give a shout out to Councilman Beers for a lot of help on this. And actually, Councilman Coffin called me about this before he was elected, that they wanted to make sure that we were as transparent as possible. And so we've gone through an extraordinary effort with What Works City's Bloomberg Philanthropies to put together an updated performance management system that's open and available to the public, including an open checkbook and an open budget transparency website that anyone can find out darn near anything they want about this city on our web as a result of those efforts and as a result of focus by our departments to get their plans together. We didn't just take care of our citizens, we were helping North Las Vegas. Still, we were able to complete a consolidation of our jail services this year. Thanks to Orlando and Chief Freeman for making that happen. An incredible job. We got another $55 million in new market tax credits to help businesses, nonprofits, and schools be able to take off in the heart of our city in some of the most distressed neighborhoods. You all set a new vision for our city. You adopted a downtown master plan, and you adopted the strategic framework, Community by Design, that will set the course for many activities over the coming years and decades. We finished the Cashman transfer. This has been a long-running goal of the mayor's. I know that it's critically important to Councilman Coffin and Councilman Barlow, because they are right beside each other on that Cashman lot, and it's going to create a new redevelopment opportunity for our city. We expanded our jail, which is unfortunate to have to do, but when people are entrusted to our care, even if it's because they were careless or made a bad decision, we have to do it right. So we made a major investment there, finished on time and under budget. We were accredited the first in our state by the International Economic Development Accreditation Agency, the first in our state. I've been fortunate to be able to say the first in our state a lot as city manager. We are in the throes of completing 2 pre-K centers. So we've taken the ordinance that you all adopted, that the mayor spearheaded, to make a difference in education. And yes, Mayor, I am saying education because I'm on my last week, and I can say it now. It's not just youth development. It's about making education better for our kids. And Lisa Moore-Sibler has taken that to heart and run to make it happen. We're opening a medical school, Councilwoman. We're opening a medical school this fall. A full 700 faculty are going to be starting this fall for the UNLV Medical School right in the heart of the medical district. And Mayor, we're starting the loop. Next week, you finally got your circulator. It's been on my goal list for 4 years. We finished up the Republic Services Agreement so that we can get our recycling rates much higher. We cleared out all of our development obligations on Symphony Park to give you a clean palette to start development anew there. We've won on technology. We were recognized by Transforming Local Government, the Alliance for Innovation, for the My Vegas Alexa app. We're 70% complete on fully automating our Development Services Center activities through Project Eddy. We had an incredible legislative session with much success, thanks to Brian McAnallen and the team, and you'll hear a much more thorough report later about that. What's the upshot? The upshot is that our budget has recovered, our revenues are where they were pre-recession, but we have 9% fewer employees. Let's think about that. That means we were really smart in the way we deployed infrastructure and technology to not be so employee-centric to put us at risk for another recession. We had an infusion of capital that added new fire stations, new parks. We were able to focus in on some of your higher priorities, getting the homeless courtyard off the ground and funded. And we're focusing in on our roadways, safety for pedestrians, and making sure that our community is connected to downtown. As Councilman Barlow says, all roads need to lead to downtown. Our citizens are 20 points happier than every other major metropolitan market we're compared to. 20 points happier, satisfied, and with quality. And we were recently recognized by Governing Magazine, which is one of the biggest recognitions a city can receive for Equipped to Innovate. It's been a good year. And I'm really proud that I'm able to say those things on my last evaluation with each of you. It's been a real pleasure to serve you. I know these last 4 months of transition for me have been pretty challenging because the mayor gave me a really long list and said, please get them all done. I think I'm shy one, the Muni Court funding, but Judge Kearns made me promise, pinky swear, that I would get that done before my last day if I can, so I'm working on it. But we've done a lot of great things, and I couldn't do it without you all, your vision, your support, and your willingness to listen. And this team, half of them are missing right now, but this team, Gary's new, Orlando's been my steady hand my entire time as city manager, Scott, who's going to be taking over the reins, Jorge, Ted, and David, couldn't do it without them. And then all these incredible employees and department heads who make all this stuff happen. You dream it up, we put together a plan, they get it done. That's how it works here at the city, and I'm really proud to be a part of that. And our employees believe in it. They believe in what you say, they believe in your vision, and they believe that we're doing the right thing and that we're on the right track. That's the best thing possible for us to be able to say from here. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions or comments, Mayor, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Councilwoman, you're on. Your mic is on. Were you comment?
Well, I'm the one who leaves the mic on all the time. Betsy, I've been here a long time, it seems, and in a way we've sort of grown together. I want to thank you for what you've helped me learn. I want to thank you for all the fine books you shared with me on city government. And I want to thank you for not being afraid to stand up for what you thought was right, sometimes against almost insurmountable odds. I know you're one of the very best ever as a city manager, and I appreciate all that you've done, and we're going to miss you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions from council? Yes, please, Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, it's been an honor working with you for 8 years, and you steered the ship during some really tough times. I mean, you know that 8 years ago was not a lot of fun. Yeah. But you're leaving this city at the top of your game. I mean, you're leaving the city in much better shape, and it's really because of you. And I think I mentioned in your last evaluation I was going to tackle it in the parking lot if you tried to leave. But you're going on to some very exciting times, so I promise I won't do that today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Plus, I'm for sure would be at a disadvantage because in honor of the mayor, I wore a dress and heels today, just saying.
I think we're all going to keep in touch with you, though. I think that's
I look forward to that.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
I've got
Yes,
plenty
please.
of comments, goodness sakes, Betsy. We've worked together for 12 years.
And Councilman, you're live.
Where do I start?
No, it's
Good job. I mean, and I've said this before, I say this almost at every meeting. Ms. Fretwell has put together an elite team. Department heads, directors, all the way down. I just got to tell you that. My experience, she trained me early on when I was first elected in 2005 as a deputy city manager. And Betsy, you've done so many remarkable things for the city of Las Vegas.
Thank you.
The worst recession in this world's history, and you guided us through that. And I can't thank you enough. Yes, we had to lay a few people off, but we've hired them back. And I want to say thank you to the great employees, too, that have been working for the city of Las Vegas under your tenure, under my tenure, because they've been remarkable, and I expect them to continue to be the same even after both you and I are gone. But congratulations on everything that you've done for us. Congratulations on your next adventure tomorrow. Thank you, Mayor.
Your Honor, I obviously have a great deal of affection for our city manager because I've known her since she got out of college. Really, literally, having come here and working for one of our local governments or another, or even a state agency, it's hard to believe that in all these years she is actually moving on to greener pastures. But then, of course, who wouldn't turn down twice your salary if you got it offered? I mean, I would, but nobody's going to offer it. So I think that we must consider one last contractual agreement we have with our city manager, which is our policy of helping pay for the PERS. I think we've got, we're due a quarter, she's due a quarter payment from us. I think I'm going to suggest we compensate Ms. Fretwell by finishing our part of the bargain on prepaying PERS, I think 3 months or something like that. You'd have to help me out, Mayor Pro Tem, or maybe Councilman Beers. I don't know what that amounts to. Well, Baby Betsy knows more than anybody. But I'm just saying that's the kind of send-off I want to give her. It's not overly generous at all, but it is something that we started, and I think we should finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Who would be able to respond to that? Betsy, or does Mr. Ameling know?
Well, maybe I guess I can respond. My actual retirement would be in October. Obviously, I accelerated that, so I'm just shy of being able to retire by about 3 months. So it's actually 2 months and 29 days. So that's what I will have to work out with PERS between now and retirement.
That being said, Your Honor and council members, Ms. Fretwell, then what would your ask be to this council, as I've asked the same questions to the city manager, city attorney, and city auditor?
I mean, that's completely up to you all. I mean, we've done this a long time.
And it's very difficult to stand
8.5 years, and it's been an incredible honor. And, you know, I'm happy with whatever you all want to do today. I'm just glad I've had the chance to serve you.
Well, I want to point out, too, for the mayor and council, that for several years, from 2009 to 2013, Ms. Fretwell was flat. Of course, that was by design because of the recession. The department heads, I think, were as well, as many of the executive team members included in that discussion. I would like to make a motion, Your Honor, and council members, to make her whole with PERS. And I'd also like to throw in one caveat. Ms. Fretwell, I think I'd like to also include in that motion that you get free parking downtown for life.
Yay!
Woo! That's worth more.
Audience, what do you think?
I love it.
Now, as the city manager today, can you make that happen for yourself?
Yeah, I might have to twist Brandy Stanley's arm, but I think I could get it to happen.
That's my motion.
Your Honor?
Making the retirement whole is
Your Honor?
what the motion is, aside from the joke.
Which microphone are
That's
we
a
using?
joke, because we do have to make sure. I'm going to take your parking off.
What?
Take
Well,
my parking
let's
off.
do the
That's the
important
best thing
piece.
yet.
Well, pick one then. You want the parking, or you want to become whole in
Oh,
PERS?
yes, to both. No.
I just had to throw that in there.
I know, you always have to muck something up. I mean, we had this, this is
Your
lovely,
Honor, I
we're
can
so
help Mayor Pro
proud.
Tem recover.
Okay,
Your Honor?
okay, you second the motion.
Councilman Beers.
Your Honor?
Okay, so we are now,
Councilman
yes,
Beers,
Councilman Beers.
I can further screw up the motion for, and get Mayor Pro Tem off the hook.
Okay, please do that.
I was
Anybody
actually,
that can help this Mayor Pro
As I
Tem.
was doing my investigations on this, I was pretty good with the concept of giving her a goodbye present, and I still am, because I believe she's done a phenomenal job, and I truly treasured the 5 years I've enjoyed working with you. But the benefit package here has a baked-in $75,000 severance pay for Betsy. And when I learned that, I figured that that's probably a little more generous than I was thinking in the first place. And so, for that reason, I will be opposing this motion.
Okay. Did you hear the comment?
We
I'm
don't
sorry.
understand that down
They
here.
don't
What is
under-
happening? The
Council
benefit-
would like you to
the top-
describe.
Right, so the top-tier benefit package at the city for our top executives includes a built-in severance upon voluntary departure. In our city manager's case, that calculates out to a $75,000 severance payment above and beyond everything else. I thought that was more generous than what I was thinking, which was more along the lines of funding the PERS. And therefore, I will be opposing this motion because of that. It's not that I don't believe we should reward her. I think she's done a phenomenal job at the city. But I think 75 is a good goodbye.
Could I ask a question? Mayor,
Councilwoman, please.
the PERS will cost what, about 21,000?
Yes, ma'am.
So that are you saying then that it's almost 100,000? With 70, it's plus 75?
Maybe it would, Councilwoman, let me explain.
I don't
We have an
understand.
executive benefits plan that's been approved by the city council. We adopted it in 2011. For 10 years of service, when you go into retirement, you're eligible for an automatic severance package. It's been in the process for as long as I've been at the city of Las Vegas. Appointives and executives are eligible for that based on the number of years they serve, and it's a certain number of weeks. That's what Councilman Beers is referring to. You may remember that in 2011, we modified that plan significantly and eliminated the sick leave buyout that was a part of the prior plans, and eliminated that completely, so none of those payouts are included any longer. We also eliminated vehicle allowances and executive allowances at the time. But we did retain the severance program, and so when he's referring to that, that is the number of weeks that I would be eligible for, just like any other employee in the executive plan or the appointed plan. So, for instance, individuals who will be leaving, Christine Kramer or any of your employees when you leave and they possibly leave, they would also be eligible for that severance. So I hadn't planned on having a whole conversation about the executive compensation plan or the appointed compensation plan today, but that is a part of what those groups of employees benefit. My benefit is no different. It is not spelled out differently in my contract. I get what everybody else gets. So if you did choose to true up my PERS, that would be in addition to the traditional executive and appointive benefit plan.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other question? Councilman Barlow, please.
Yes, Mayor. That's a very good point that Councilman Beers bring forward. I think the difference is, for me, unless it can be clarified clear, is the request before us is to advance your retirement for PERS, to close out your PERS retirement, right?
Correct.
And for others, they would have completed their PERS on their own to receive the benefit of the executive package. Is that correct?
It would, yes. The short answer is yes. It would be dependent on each person's condition, what where they are in their tenure, et cetera, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that is, let me think about that a little bit more.
Mayor, City Council,
Yes.
this is Orlando Sanchez.
Yes.
I think what you're doing now is considering for her bonus for the work that she performed last year. This should be separated from her separation package that's already part of the agreement that we have with employees. So this is based on her past performance for the last year.
I'm sorry, because Councilman Coffin's here speaking. I want him to hear, could you start again, exactly what you said?
I think what you're doing right now, this is for her performance based on last year's performance. It should be separated from her separation pay, because that's an agreement we have with the employees when they leave. So she gets that, it's already part of her package that she leaves. But this is based on her last year's performance for what she's done for the city.
Thank you very much. Okay, so at this point, unless somebody else has another question, I'm going to call on the question. Any
Yes,
other?
I do.
Yes, please.
So what happens if an employee resigns prior to their retirement age or stage? Do they receive that additional piece?
Mayor, through you, Councilman Barlow, whenever an employee retires, if they're, I guess, PERS eligible, if you're short like 1 year or 2 years, you have the right to buy down the years if you want, or else you can take a deduction from the PERS system.
Right, but do you receive
And they
the-
do receive, that's an agreement that we have with our appointed and executives, that
So
they
they
do
still
get that
receive it
separation
anyway?
pay.
whether they pay the PERS or not?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
I would like to ask Mayor that would somebody please send that to us in writing so we can understand it as far as our own appointees, because you said our own appointees would be part of this too, right?
They are, Councilwoman, all the appointives and the executives, so people that are transitioning out get
Just-
that severance package based on their years of service.
I just want to make sure that
I'm going to ask one more question.
our people are.
Okay. And
Yeah,
the
you're-
only other question, if I might,
I'll get
to you, Mr. Sanchez, the difference of retirement, which of course she's eligible for that anyway, but resigning, there's no issue, this is more for the public to understand why we are doing this. She's done a phenomenal job, I mean, unequaled in my opinion. And so for us, because Betsy has chosen to go most ridiculously into the private sector, I might add, and has chosen therefore to resign, is there any difference there in the resignation versus just flat-out retirement and leaving?
There is not. You have an option as an employee to resign or else go through serve your entire 30 years. But I think Betsy was really modest whenever she stated about employees giving up their sick leave, and also we had a reduction in the cap that we have on our vacation leave. So it was part of our agreement, because if you recall in the years past, when public employees were getting big payouts like $230,000, $250,000, Betsy took that to heart, that was not going to happen anymore based on the city council. So now you see a more moderate payout for employees.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments before I call for the vote? Okay, you've
Before you
made
call
a
for the vote,
motion.
I'm
Yes,
going to
please.
restate the motion because I think that needs a little clarification. It's to reward Betsy with an amount of money equivalent to 3 months of PERS and to award her with a lifetime parking pass in the city of Las Vegas.
Oh, you did do that.
If I stated that right, that's what I understood
Okay,
the
I
motion to
think
be.
that's what he did say. So, and he won't separate those out,
That's
all
what I
right.
said.
So there's a motion. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. Even for the parking?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're up,
You
and the
it
motion
posted,
carries.
Councilman.
So Betsy,
Thank you so
again,
much.
thank you.
You
Thank you very
guys have been
much.
incredible. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so now we go backwards. Now we go to 8.
And Madam Mayor, I would like to thank Councilman Beers for bringing that up, however, because it brought to our attention, which he has always done so well, things that we sometimes slip over. And thank you very much, Councilman Beers.
An agenda item 8, citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the city council. No subject may be acted upon by the city council unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. This is your opportunity to address the council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak under this portion of the agenda in the special city council meeting of June 21st? And with that, thank you very much. I will close that, and this meeting is adjourned, and we will take exactly 6 minutes for a quick, brief recess, and we will be right back, beginning with our ceremonial that was scheduled for 40 minutes ago.